In this lecture, you'll learn how to configure application-aware data management and balanced placement with a lab demo. When you configure application-aware data management, you need to have your aggregates and your SVMs already configured, but after that, the wizard is going to provision everything else for you. So I'm logged into System Manager here, and if I go to Storage and SVMs, you can see that I've got two SVMs already created. One is called NAS, and that is got the allowed protocols of NFS and CIFS, and I've got a SAN SVM which has got iSCSI allowed. So I've got my SVMs already configured. So now let's go to the Applications and Tiers menu. I'll expand that out and I'll click on Applications. So this is where we configure everything in the wizard. And you see in here, I have to choose the SVM. So I click on the drop down there, I'll see all the SVMs that I've already got configured. For this demo, I've named them NAS and SAN, but you could be named anything you want to. So let's look at the applications that are available for NAS first. So I'll choose my NAS SVM and then click on Add an Application. And in there, you can see I can add a general NAS container. Other options are Oracle RAC, and Microsoft SQL Server databases. And I've also got virtual desktops and virtual servers. And in later versions of ONTAP, I expect that more will be added here. If I look in my SAN SVM, I'll see that in there, it's the same options again, but I can also provision MongoDB. And obviously, the differences here are how the clients are going to be accessing the application, whether we're going to be using NAS or SAN for that. So for an example, let's go back to the NAS SVM. I'll click on Add an Application, and I'll choose just the general NAS container there. So you see that when I do that, it's going to ask me for settings that are specific to that particular type of application. So here it's asking me for the application name. Let's call this CIFS underscore or demo. Then I need to specify the size so it knows what size of volume to make. For this demo on the simulator, I'll just make it a really small size of 100 megabytes. And then I can click on the drop down for the ONTAP service level. So normally in here, you would see value, performance, and extreme, and you would pick from one of the three. But your storage cluster needs to have the underlying hardware to support that. Because I'm on the simulator here, it's not capable of supporting those two higher service levels. So the only option that I get here is value. So I'll go with value. And then it asks, do I want to configure this for NFS or for CIFS access or for both? For this demo, I will choose CIFS access. And then it asks me about which permissions to set here. If I did choose NFS, again, it's going to ask me about what hosts are allowed to access this particular storage. So this would configure the export policy for me. For this demo, I'll just choose CIFS access, and then I'll click on Add Application. I then see a pop-up showing me everything that the system is creating. Give it a few seconds, and then it's done. When you do have an application that you've already configured, you can come to this page and you will see performance information on there. Obviously, I haven't sent any traffic to this particular application yet, so I'm not seeing anything in the graph yet. Okay, so let's look and see what this has done. If I go to storage and then go to volumes, and I've got my NAS SVM selected, I can see that it has created the volume there, CIFS demo data 1, and it is the size I requested of 100 megabytes. And if I look on shares, I can see in here that it has also shared that volume for me as well. And under the hood, it's also configured the storage QoS settings for me as well. Okay, so that was an example of configuring an application for a NAS SVM. Let's have a look at doing it for SAN as well, and for one of the more complicated applications. So I'll go back to the applications page again. I will choose my SAN SVM and click on Add Application. You can see I've got the same options again, but we've also got MongoDB. And again, in later versions of ONTAP, I expect there will be more applications available here by default. So let's choose Microsoft SQL Server. And then I have to enter the database name. Let's just call this SQL. Put in the size. I'll make this 500 megabytes for the database, and using the value service level again. Specify the number of server cores. So again, you're specifying all the information for the actual SQL server that is going to be using this storage as its database. For the log file size for the database, I will make that 100 megabytes. And notice that you can specify different service levels for the different parts of the database here as well. And then further down, I enter the initiator settings. So if this was using Fiber Channel, I would enter the WWPN of the actual SQL server that was using this storage. For iSCSI, I would enter its IQM. I'll just leave it blank here for this demo. So I've got all of the information in there. Notice I've also got other information like the actual operating system that is running on the client. For this example, it's a Windows server. And I will click on Add Application. And I'll see it's creating the SQL application for me. For this database, it's actually going to spread it out over several volumes, so it takes a little bit longer. I can see now that it is done. And now if I go to the LUNs page, I can see that I've got a whole heap of LUNs there configured for this application to give it the required performance. And I've got the corresponding volumes as well. It would also configure the initiator group for me and also the storage QoS settings. Thanks for watching. If you want to get hands-on practice with NetApp storage for free on your laptop, then you can download my free ebook, which you can see above my head right now. Also check out my NetApp Storage Complete course, which will teach you everything you could possibly want to know about ONTAP. Thanks.